Okay, the secret to overcoming writer's block is sit down, open up your laptop, and start typing. No, I'm just playing. There's a lot. Hi, my name is Vanessa, and I am a TV writer, and I'm a new novelist, and I'm on my journey to finishing a novel in 2 years. That is to be seen. But I'm in a program right now that's a 2-year program, and so that's why I started this journey to kind of track it and see where we're at in 685 weeks or whatever the fuck 2 years is. I don't fucking know. The hardest thing about writing outside of like having to write words is the whole like writer's block thing, and it's been kicking my ass this week, I'm not gonna lie. So I figured today I would talk about writer's block a little bit, both from the perspective of my TV writing job. If you don't know, I've written for shows like The Sandman, and I've created animes for Crunchyroll. Well, I developed an anime. It never came to fruition, which sucks. I think I figured out how I'm cracking my writer's block, and it just took a combination of stuff I learned from working in Hollywood and TV writing, and then adding that with stuff I've learned in the program. I think I got it. Cut to, I'm laying horizontal, I'm not writing shit. But let's just say I got it. I want to get this fucking book done. We cannot afford to spiral into the abyss. I think we should define what is writer's block, and I don't know how to do that, but I'm gonna say it's like this. There are days and weeks where like you need time away from your piece. Maybe you just finished a really heavy chapter, maybe you just finished a draft, maybe you just got some heavy notes and you're just like, okay, I need a little breaky break. That's fine. Then there's these moments where it's like you start and you can't get into it, and then you step away from it and you're like, oh, I'm gonna come back to it. It's just a really hard time. It's just da-da-da-da. And then it's been weeks, months into the year, and now you have a project that's been sitting in Word since 2015, and you're like, I'm still gonna finish my book. That's to me what writer's block is. But there is a difference between I'm just tired these couple days or like this week and I just need a bit of a break and step away from it, and like, oh, I've been blocked for so long. Like maybe if I start the artist way, no shade. Writer's block doesn't just happen sometimes. Like it's like a slow thing. I feel like it's more insidious than just like, I'm just tired. Cause we all get tired. You know what I mean? This is how I feel like we fight against writer's block. This is how I'm thinking about fighting against writer's block. So this first one came from a teacher. I went to an intensive for my program a couple weeks ago or last week or whatever. It's basically like trying to figure out what time period you're trying to get this done. Like, you know, what is that urgency? Are you saying like, this is my life project, like whatever, it's fine? Are you saying like, I gotta get done in 5 years for a thing or for a program? Or are you like me where it's like, oh my God, I could die at any moment. I need to get this done. Maybe the existential deadline isn't the healthiest, but that's literally my thing. I'm like, I could die. If you got kids or you got a job and you're just like, I can't get it done, and I can't get a draft done in 6 months, I need a year, then that's the thing. But really, it's like the time period that you choose or you're deciding to stick to will determine how you get over writer's block. Like, what discipline do you need to keep working even when you have writer's block? So if you're someone that's like, I want to get this done ASAP or in a year or in 2 years, you know that you might have to have a daily page count. I have to have a daily page count. I finally accepted to myself recently that I have to have a daily page count. If you're someone that's going to do like 10-year, a big lifelong journey, then you can say like, I want to get such and such done in this chunk of months, and then I take a break, and then every like whatever amount of months I do this, and I you know, it just kind of helps you clarify, and it helped me clarify the speed in which I needed to get shit done. If you have anxiety and you're like me and you're like, okay, I just want to get this done, I want to finish this, I want to see it finished, I want to see it through, then you know that you can't give yourself 6 months breaks. And then you might find like, oh, I thought I was going to get it done early, but then I'm not. The change is fine, but it's just kind of like landing on how long you really want this novel to take. So when you know what kind of timing you're on, now we determine like what pages need to happen. So for me and people like me, it's giving daily page count. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, it's 5 pages a day. I don't do the word count shit because that stresses me out, but I can tangibly see 5 pages of handwriting. That's what it takes for me. It's about, okay, writer's block or not, this is the thing that I'm looking at. So when you do kind of go days without writing, you have a number, you have something to hold on to. It's not just like, I need to write every day. It's like, oh, I need to get this amount of pages done every day. So when you're a screenwriter and you're working on TV, you have an episode. We're all given each individual episodes, right? And usually, each episode takes about 10 days to write. So you have 10 days to finish a script that will go to the boss and get noted up and scrutinized and shot out of the sky, but it's fine. So in those 10 days, you're like, okay, I need to get act 1 done by this day, act 2 done by this day. And it becomes, you can't just like look at it as like, I need to finish this thing. The only way to survive is to have like a number or something tied to it. And then you end up getting the work done in 10 days. So you might be like, okay, I have 5 days. Each day I need to get an act done. That's 10 scenes a day. Like, that's how you break it down. I think the same applies for your work, even when it's not a paid thing. How long are you trying to take to get this done? How many pages would it take to accomplish that? How many pages a day should you do with that? Then when you miss days, you know, I can jump. It's not just like, oh my God, I have to write again. It's just like, oh, I just need to go back to writing my 5 pages. It's like, whew, you know, it's like, it's a grounding force for when you, I feel like writer's block happens when you're just like looking at like, oh my God, I haven't written for a while. I don't know what to do. I have to go back to writing the book. I don't know. But if you say, oh, I haven't written in a while, I need to get back to writing my 5 pages a day, that is what's really helpful. And so that's why the timing is really important. And again, that can change. You know, I'm saying ASAP right now, but if something else comes up that becomes more important, or that's just, I can't get around it, then I might say, okay, well, I'll give myself this amount of time. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. All the teachers that were in my program that were like, it took me 10 years, it took me 15 years, they were all like, for my next book, I am not trying to take this long. And so a lot of it, that was like a lot of people that needed 10 years, it wasn't like they chose to do it in 10 years. It was kind of just like, well, because life was lifing and they didn't necessarily have the space or practice to keep writing, it became 10 years. From what I understand, a lot of us want to get the shit done and want to see it done. And so I think a lot of us are going to have to go with like the daily page count and like being more accountable and not letting time go by, because time goes by so quickly. I think a lot of us are going to fall into that category, including myself. Number 2, people pleasers, moms, older siblings, older sisters. You gotta come to the front row right now, because I feel like you're gonna relate to this shit. Like, let's lock in for a second. Number 2, I got from the teacher who was on one of the panels, and she was like, you have to put your work first. Writer's block and large chunks of time going past us, a lot of it is because we don't put our work first. Let's look at it from the TV writer's perspective. When I'm getting paid, oh bitch, I don't give a fuck what's going on. This work comes first because I'm getting paid. You know what I mean? And of course it's a job, so jobs always come first. But my point is, when there's incentive behind it, miraculously, you kind of find which things need to be cut out, and you kind of know when to say no to things because there's an urgency to it. When you're on episode and your episode is due in 10 days, you are on lockdown. And I'm not saying that you should live on lockdown like that when you're like writing a novel, because you don't necessarily have to, but it does show you like how, when you need to put your art first, what that looks like. I do think sprints like that are very difficult and very tiring, and that could lead to writer's block later, but like, you just see what is important. You see like, okay, yeah, family time is important, my friends are important, but like only in certain time periods. The rest of the time is for me and my art. So let's look at our lives and say yes to the art first, and let's work on that people pleasing thing. A lot of us, especially if you're someone that holds a lot of responsibility, your writing falls back and writer's block kicks in, because by the time it's time to write, you're exhausted. And obviously I can't be like, quit your job. But outside of the things that are necessary, it's kind of like we have to look at what are the things that are changeable and not unnecessary, because I think things are still necessary, but changeable that have moved in front of our writing that we can move below our writing. You know what I mean? Like, and it'd be little shit. It'd be little shit like chores. Like, one of the teachers was like, the chores have to come at a certain point in the week versus like what she was doing, which was like cleaning up every single day. Moving things that are tangible and you can like see tangible results. It's really difficult to move that underneath a project that like you don't know when it's gonna get done. It's gonna take me like a book is a book. Like, you know, it's art, and art takes time, and art doesn't always result into anything. And so it becomes very easy to put our art behind the tangible things. And if you are a people pleaser, child please, now everyone else's shit gets put in front of writing because it's a tangible thing and it's tied to big emotions. Like, now it's like, well, I wanted to write. Now I wanted to write, but like I promised so-and-so that I will be there doing so-and-so. And that's not to say that you abandon your community or anything like that, but it's just like looking at how you are giving out your time and energy. And maybe instead of offering that all up first to other people, you offer it up to yourself. Maybe it is saying, hey partner, I'm not a mom, so please excuse me. Hey partner, I need 30 minutes to write for 30 minutes a day. Can you take care of the kids? Or some of the people, they were like, hey, I had to get up at 4:00 in the morning before work. And that's kind of how I had to, because I wanted to do it before I started the day and before I drained my battery. Like, that is dedication. But you see, it's kind of like the writing then comes first. They can't change the fact that they have to go to work. They can't change the fact that they're going to be tired. They have to pick up the kids afterwards. They're going to be tired, but they can change the priority of the writing. And then this goes back to like the time. If you're like, this is a long-term project, then maybe at this point in my life, I'm not getting up at 4:00 in the morning and I'll only write on the weekends, and that extends the amount of time. You see what I'm saying? Like, things are not less urgent and you can kind of like prioritize what the writing is. But speaking to the us, where we're trying to get the shit done and like see it done, we got to prioritize. We got to say no. Here's an example. There's this artist called Moses Sumney, and he is a singer, a performer. I love his music. I read an article, I'll have to find it, but basically he had to leave. I think he was in Hollywood. He, like me, he was in Hollywood and he was getting all these agent calls and his career was picking up, and he was like, I gotta go because I can't get shit done here. It's too distracting. I'm saying yes to all these meetings, and if I stay here, my work is gonna be influenced by the environment, by the agents, and I don't want that. So I can't finish my work like that. And so he realized for him it was an environmental thing he had to say no to. I have to go. Kind of understand that because I have a really hard time staying my ass in the house, and it's because there's just so many things to do, and I have anxiety that tells me I have to do these things before I die or my life is pointless. And so it becomes very hard to say no to like that side, the emotional side of my brain that's tied to like everything else, and saying no, I'm gonna do my writing first. It's really us taking a look at what are we saying yes to, and what part of those yeses is taking away from our work. And that's so difficult, especially if you're a woman. Just putting yourself first in general is always hard because of societal expectations. Putting your art first, even worse. Okay, number 3, your time is your time. Your time is your time. Your time is your time. Your time is your time, but no one is going to make you sit down and do it. So this is the part of writer's block where it's just like, it's pure strength. It's just pure strength, and it's going to take pure willpower. Like, it's going to suck. That's the thing. It's going to suck. Even as a TV writer, you think like, oh my God, it must have been so fun. It's going to suck because everything sucks. But like, it's going to suck because like you're making yourself do something. And I don't know about you, but my body would rather do nothing. I like going to the gym, I like dancing, I like working out, but I will always say no. And so I just have to take up with the fact that it's always going to suck. I don't know anyone who like sits down and writes every time and it's just like and if they are saying that, they're either super special or they're lying, or they don't write that often, because no fucking way do you write 5 pages a fucking day and every day you sit down you're just like, oh, Beethoven, you're like writing like Beethoven in the bed. Like, no, it sucks. And there are some things that I've had to do when it's like, okay, I need to sit down, but I can't force myself to sit down. Number one for me is like writers groups or like this generative thing. So I've said it a million times, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm a part of this generative workshop class where we all write together. We take little 10-minute breaks. It's 4 hours, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. So for me, that helped me like really get into the groove of like, well, I have to sit down. Sure, I don't have to get on Zoom, but I paid money for this shit. So I'm gonna sit on my Zoom. For me, that's what's helpful. And that gets me in the chair, whether I want to or not. And some days, like I don't generate 5 pages, but I know that I have that next Wednesday to like, I'm gonna get that 5 pages done. Like maybe this is tied to the last thing, but it really comes to like, we have to take ourselves seriously. You know what I mean? Like we really have to take our own art seriously. If we're saying no, like in order to know what to say no to, we have to internally be like, no, I'm a writer, I'm an artist, so I take my art seriously. Sure, it feels stupid right now. We don't know who we could be. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what song or painting or, you know, writing is gonna touch somebody. So we have to take ourselves seriously as artists, even though it feels fucking stupid. So yeah, you don't want to sit down, but imagine if all of the artists that we love just succumb to like not wanting to sit down. And of course you get those stories of like, you know, I lose myself in my art. And I feel like that's true. Even though it sucks, I still lose myself in the writing and I find things that surprise me every single time. It's just about respecting your art enough to sit down and open up your laptop, open up your notebook, research, study, whatever you have to do, even when you don't feel like. So I hope this makes both of us feel better when it's just like, hey, you are never gonna feel like it. But this is your job. This is your second job if you have a job. You know what I mean? Like this is our job. And we don't have to look at it as like punitive, as like, you know, you'll get in trouble if you don't get it done. But it's for you. It's for the future you. It's for us. Like, let's take it seriously. It's okay. And again, I don't mean like if it's just agonizing, maybe you do need to take a little break from it. Like if it's just like maybe it is time to explore maybe another medium, or just like I'm gonna take 2 years off of writing. But it's kind of like going to the gym. I wake up being like, oh, I need to go to the gym. And that's my version of like, I want to go to the gym. But if you ask me, do you want to go to the gym? Fuck no, I don't want to go to the damn gym. Fuck the gym. Okay, and now finally, we've done all that. And now we approach the, well, I have nothing to write phase of this whole thing. And that's like, all of that is writer's block, but this I think is the part of writer's block that most people think about, just like I can't think, I have nothing to say. That's what most people attribute to just writer's block. Here are some things I do. So like I when I do my generative class, there are some days where I'm not blazing through pages. Like I'm decrepit in the bed. Like earlier today. So one of the things that I do when I can't write at all, and I've learned this like recently and it helps me every single time, is to journal. Like sometimes I just need to feel my feelings. I just need to write about my feelings. Like sometimes like you don't even know what's wrong. Sometimes you don't know why you can't write until you write how you're feeling. You know, like sometimes you're just like, why the fuck can't I write anything? And then you write a journal about how sad you are. Maybe you're grieving and you didn't realize you're grieving, or you're just tired, or you're insecure. Like sometimes it's good to address the emotions and that voice inside of you. I think that's why the Artist Way lady was like, you should write morning pages to just dump it out. I kind of think this is similar to that, where it's like, I never can just jump into writing. I need to like get right with myself for a second. I pull, you can do a journaling prompt, or I pull a tarot card before and I like read what the tarot card is about, and then I kind of like journal about that to get me started. And sometimes I just like, I need to write and be sad. Getting in touch with yourself and just getting the pen or whatever moving and getting words out of your brain in this kind of like safe way that is also in tune with your emotions, that's like been really helpful for me, because sometimes it's hard to be like, and let's chapter 1. Like I literally can't do that. Like it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Like I'm not gonna, no, absolutely not. So the journaling part has been really therapeutic. It's therapeutic writing, and it helps your brain be like, okay, we need to generate words, and then that can kind of lead. It's like a warm-up. It's a warm-up. Why am I saying all this shit? It's a warm-up. Also, sometimes I journal about why I can't write or what I'm writing about. Like I can't write today because I'm feeling tired. And then that kind of like will spiral into like, maybe I am feeling tired, or maybe I'm feeling insecure about the program, or maybe I'm tired about what I'm writing about. And maybe what I'm writing about isn't actually accurate to what I'm wanting to do. My second one is going for a walk and movement. Movement is very vital for a lot of artists. Like, you can't move energy sitting down. And if you're just like, for 3 hours, like, you can't force your brain into thinking. Like, I think that's a misconception. Like, you can't just be like, and then like chapters and then chapters come out. So like walking and movement and like having your body doing something, and like your brain is kind of operating in the background as like a subconscious thing, things come up. So in the TV writing world, when we have like a top half of our day where we're like pitching and like whatever, and then we have lunch. During lunch, 90% of the time, writers go out and take a walk. It could be just to yap, it could be just to like goss or whatever, but it kind of like refreshes your mind a little bit and gets you kind of thinking more and more about the actual work. Oftentimes you have writers coming back the next day and being like, oh, on my walk, I came up with this. And then I'm like, damn, I should have walked, you know? So movement and like, it really seems to kind of help generatively. Like, I've taken some of those 4 hours to just go take a walk and listen to music. Even if you don't write after that, it's like you're programming your brain to like, you're thinking about it. You're gonna, you know, it's better than doing nothing. In addition to the movement thing, I think like you go out and find inspiration. Like, I can't write, I've been stuck. Let me go out and find inspiration. Did you know that my novel, one of my favorite bands is Gorillaz, and I went to one of their exhibits they had here called House of Kong. I went because this whole novel conception that I came up with was based on the cover of Plastic Beach. If you don't know, my novel is a dual perspective. One half of it is told from a ginormous glob monster made up of human body parts. It's dying and it's going into the memory of the last person that it's eaten to try to figure out, you must have done something to me. And then the second half of the novel is the memories of that person as it tries to like find clues. But that whole conception of the monster came from Gorillaz. It came from that art piece. And so going out and like just seeing the world and like seeing art, seeing nature, that could be a huge way to undo, like to jiggle something out. Like half of the ideas that I come up with just come from like seeing shit and like seeing things as I walk around. You're giving your brain input so it can give you some output. You see what I'm saying? And then there's another one that my teacher told us, or my mentor told us about, which was to write if you're having writer's block, open up a book that you're like really into, or like your favorite book or whatever, and just like copy down the words of that book. He might have said tracing it, but like just like writing down a chapter of that book. And it's not necessarily a teaching thing, although some people do say it's good to do that. It's really because you're giving your brain the like, you're writing, but then your brain can kind of like operate in the background as you're writing. And so not only are you kind of getting like ideas, you're like engaging with another story, your brain is also kind of like, it's like watching a movie. I don't know about you, but for me, if I'm watching a movie, that's the time that my brain comes up with ideas for my story. Like sitting in a movie theater, I'm just like, bitch, I done solved my shit, and then I forget about it. So where you're engaging with the story and you're writing out, you're just copying, you're not like doing much thought. So because of that, your brain has an opportunity to be like, oh, I could do that. Oh, I could do that. So I've tried that, and it's similar to the journaling thing where your thing is already moving, and that allows like, it's easier then to move over to like, well, let me jot down the things that my brain came up with. You might not like be able to write, but you might come up with ideas and generate thoughts because you're doing that repetitive movement. Maybe write out a memory, like memoir style. Just like thinking about a memory and think about some of the themes of that memory. I've done that before. Just like, oh, I do want to talk about this in my writing, or I want to talk about a concept like this in my writing. You're not generating new things. I'm not asking you to write like, you know, is the Michelle Obama's, you know, a memoir. Just write out a memory. I remember in 6th grade, this happened to me, and see where that takes you. And then finally, take a break. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that you have to write every single day. Beating writer's block is not about like never allowing yourself, you know, if it's time to take a break, it's just time to take a break. You're not trying to just write for writing's sake. Like you are trying to like tell a story and say what you want. So sometimes we just gotta take a break. Like today, I'm telling you, I call it my sick days. I'm like, I ain't got it. And because I know that I'm doing 5 pages a day, it's okay. Because I'm not thinking tomorrow like, I'm just like, okay, we go back to our 5 pages tomorrow. Take a break. In the writer's room, you know, sometimes we stay late into the night trying to break story, and at some point the showrunner or number 2 or whatever will be like, we gotta call it, because right now we're spinning our wheels, which is like we're moving but we're not getting anywhere. And I think that could also happen with your work, where you're just like, I'm just doing shit, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm just like, I've done all the things, I've journaled, I don't got it. Take a break. I'm taking a week off. I know when I get back, I'm gonna do my 5 pages, or I'm gonna take this day off, and when I get back, I'm gonna journal. I think you don't have to beat writer's block by never taking a break. It's just about having a goal, having small steps to come back to once you're back from that break, and not letting yourself take a break because you're afraid of the work. The discipline has to be there, so when you do take a break, you know that you will come back. And that's why you have to have the timeline thing, because the timeline thing will tell you, okay, I've rested, I need to get back on the horse. Okay, I don't have a conclusion, and I gotta go. I gotta get ready for a meeting, which means I have to kind of like tone all this down, although people don't give a fuck. In Hollywood, they don't care. And if they do, I don't know. I kind of have this reputation for like, oh, this Vanessa, this is a goth writer. So it kind of works out to my favor, but sometimes it's giving like, okay, well, I'm not putting on a show. Like, I am professional. I'm a professional writer. You know what I mean? So I gotta go get undressed. We don't have to let writer's block win. Writer's block is just the result of a bunch of different other shit for us to figure out, and we're gonna figure this shit out, and we're gonna get our stuff done. Thank you so much for watching, and until next week, bye.